Even if it's a little bit gimmicky, touristy, it's also cute and interesting because around every corner there's just the next deer passing by, just like that.
Nara, a city famous for its free-roaming deer, has become one of Japan's most popular tourist destinations. In 710, during the Nara period, it became Japan's first major permanent capital. This led to the construction of many important historical sites like temples and shrines. 8 of these locations are now collectively registered as one UNESCO World Heritage Site, the historic monuments of ancient Nara.
A lot of people who are coming to Japan will very likely visit Tokyo, Kyoto, Nara, and a lot of people are coming to Nara as a day trip, which doesn't leave a lot of time to see everything. So in this video I want to try to help you to figure out what is actually worth visiting. I really will stick to the major attractions. We're going to rate them according to the following categories. Number 1, accessibility. That means how easy is it to get there. Number 2, atmosphere. This is very subjective, but I will give my best to describe to you how I felt when visiting them. Number 3 is going to be the surroundings. So except for this place and site, what else is there to do? Actually, I'm here because I haven't been in Nara for maybe 20 years now. For last time was 2009. So I looked online and I found really cheap hotels in Kyoto and in Nara. It's now the beginning of July, so it's not peak travel season basically, even though in Kyoto I will be going to Kyoto as well to see the Gion Matsuri, which makes me wonder why it's so cheap at this time. Anyhow, we'll start off today at the Nara Deer Park, where everyone's going, and also Todaiji, and then we'll see.
Coming to Nara, I was prepared to feel stressed. I had heard about Japan's over-tourism problem in Kyoto, and I experienced it myself in Tokyo. Going to Nara in the summer was both a curse and a blessing, I guess. It was incredibly hot, but it was probably less crowded. After spending one day around the deer park, I started to understand why people visit it. Having deer around you wherever you go and being able to watch or even interact with them was an incredibly unique experience that you won't find anywhere else.
First thing I noticed is that the battery of my mic died, so I'm using a different one. And guess what I noticed just now? Todaiji is on this side. Nara Deer Park is on the other side. I basically walked through the deer park and then you get to the Todaiji. If you're coming here for the first time, you're coming here probably to see the deer. But you know what many people don't think about is that you get out of the station, you go to the park, and there are a lot of them that walk a little bit around an area. I didn't stay long at the park and I came directly here to Todaiji. Oh god. And they are everywhere actually, and it's kind of more relaxed if you go to a different area. They gather around the station at the entrance of the park. It's kind of messy and crowded, but they're everywhere. Just walk around a little bit.
Nara Deer Park is incredibly easy to access and there's a lot to do around the park. However, I gave it a lower rating for atmosphere as it can be a little bit disheartening to see the effects of over-tourism clash with the large number of deer. Nara's temples and shrines are among the oldest that you can find in Japan. Todaiji was founded in 728 by Emperor Shomu in order to promote Buddhism throughout the country.
Todaiji was pretty nice as well. I was surprised how much you can see inside the hall. There's this thing where people crawl through like a pillar. I don't know why actually, I need to look that up. And they don't only have one big Buddha, they have 3 of them. The deers are just looking at me. They're like, what are you doing, girl? They're so cute.
Nara's famous Buddha is 50 meters tall and is the 5th largest Buddha statue in Japan. It was very easy to get to Nara's most important temple. There are also many shops and restaurants nearby, although I found the whole area a little bit too touristy. Therefore, the atmosphere was good, but not great. After visiting Todaiji, I had enough time to explore Kasuga Taisha. Some people refer to it as a hidden gem. I wouldn't agree with that, but I still very much enjoyed the walk to and around the shrine. A legend surrounding the shrine explains why so many deer are living in Nara, making it a very important place to visit.
I came to Kasuga Taisha, so my plan was to see at least the Deer Park, Todaiji, and another one tomorrow. But you have enough time, like you can look at Todaiji in maybe an hour. Todaiji is like very kind of a closed up area where you go there, you walk around it, and then when you're going, for example, to Kasuga Taisha, there are so many more temples and shrines, and you got the deer. They're everywhere because they used to originally live in the forests around the temple. There is a legend of a god who came to this place on a white deer. So Japanese people associated the deer with like this god, and so they were like sacred, and so they just left them alone basically, and that's why we have so many deer here in Nara actually. Did you know that?
You have to walk a little bit to get to Kasuga Taisha, but along the way you will not only be surrounded by deer, but also by very scenic landscape. It is not far from other major attractions or places where you can stop for refreshments. All three of these attractions are close to each other. If you only have one day in Nara, the easiest thing to do is stay in the city center and explore this area. However, if you stay longer, Nara has much more to offer.
I'm currently standing in front of Nara station because today we have to take the train and also the bus to get to some places. If you keep watching until the end of the video, I'm going to show you a really cool, I think rather a hidden gem, but we'll see if we get there. If it's a hidden gem or not, I don't know. But it looks just so cool that I want to go there, so I'm going to include that as well. And yeah.
I took the green Yamatoji line to Horyu-ji station. It is about a 40-minute train ride, followed by a short 20-minute walk through a very relaxed and local neighborhood. As I went there first thing in the morning, most places were still closed.
I arrived at Horyu-ji station. From here you can either take a bus or you walk 20 minutes. But we're walking, let's see. Because Nara used to be the capital city of Japan a long time ago, so there are a lot of really old temples and shrines, which makes it quite interesting.
Horyuji is even older than Todai-ji. It was founded in 607 and is among Japan's earliest major Buddhist temples. The temple is closely associated with Prince Shotoku, an influential statesman who played an important role in promoting Buddhism in Japan. It belongs to the Shotoku school of Buddhism, which is based on his teachings and legacy.
So it took me nearly 2 hours to see the main area, I would say, of Horyuji. I have the feeling that there are right and left little small side streets that you could potentially explore. But I feel like if you see the main parts of it, the temple, that's good enough. So the downside is you really have to go a little bit further, but it is not too difficult. Also, you just get on the train and it's like 3 or 4 stops from the city center, so it's not that difficult to get here. But if you're here, like in this area here, there is not much else you can do. That is one thing that was definitely better if you visit the places around Nara Deer Park and Todaiji. Upside is it's incredibly quiet, and the people who work here are going to talk to you, and they are very friendly and nice. And yeah, I'm also here incredibly early. I wonder if it's going to be more crowded later, but I don't think it is.
Horyuji is about 30 minutes away by train. If you're interested in Japan's history, you might really enjoy visiting this large temple complex. It was certainly a big contrast to the busy city center. However, there was not much to do in the surrounding area.
We are now going to a place that's a little bit outside, Tsubosaka-dera. It's not one of the main tourist attractions, I think, because it's so far outside. It's a little bit of a hidden gem, kind of.
In order to get to Tsubosaka-dera, you have to take a train, a bus, followed by an additional walk of about 30 minutes. Or you take a taxi. You can probably tell that I was very determined to go there. You will soon learn why.
Amazing news, I'm in the middle of nowhere. I thought that it wouldn't be that far if you walk to the temple. However, big mistake, it's like a 30-minute walk. And even though usually 30 minutes is like totally fine by me, but not in this heat. It's July, it's incredibly hot. I should have taken a taxi, but too late. Nothing I can do about that. I just hope the heat isn't going to be a huge problem, you know what I mean? Oh, that was a tiny bit of a hike. You probably can tell by the color of my face, but I made it. So I'd highly recommend you, if you're coming in the summer, to take a taxi. Buses, there are barely any buses coming here. There is a bus on the weekend that goes every hour or even less, so that's that.
The temple was founded in 703 and its main deity is the 11-faced, 1,000-armed Kannon, the Buddhist goddess of compassion.
Even without really entering it, I feel like it was totally worth coming here. It looks amazing, just like standing here at the entrance. So let's explore.
Despite its location, I had decided to visit because I had seen pictures and videos of Tsubosaka-dera online. Once I arrived, I was far from disappointed. It might easily be one of the most beautiful temples I've ever seen. Not only does its location in the mountains give it a very special atmosphere, but the pinkish color of some of the buildings and the pagoda also makes it stand out. Tsubosaka-dera is not one of Nara's major attractions. It is also a little difficult to reach without a car, and on top of that, apart from the temple itself, there is not much to see in the area, except during cherry blossom season. However, I think the atmosphere alone makes it worth visiting.
I got a taxi back to the station, the closest station that you can get. It's like 10 minutes. But the taxi cost like 1,500 yen. I paid exactly 1,700 yen because even if you're walking back, you have to go back to the bus station and you have to wait for the bus. And I would have needed to wait for the bus, I don't know how long. I needed to wait for the taxi, maybe 10 minutes. Came really quick. And I think totally worth it. The taxi driver reminded me, he was actually really nice, he was talking to me, and he reminded me that this place is very famous during cherry blossom season, so it would have been actually better to come here in spring. So guys, this was my ranking for the major sites here in Nara. Let me know in the comments if you agree with me. If you have any other questions or if you feel like I missed anything, then also let me know. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll see you then in the next one. Okay.